Hey everyone, welcome back to CR Sim Racing, and for the first time in a very long time, it is a big welcome back to rFactor 2. Now, a lot of you have been asking me why I've stopped making rF2 videos. Well, it's certainly not because I wasn't enjoying the racing. That has invariably been top class. Sadly, it's the Sims performance on my PC that has been the ongoing problem. No matter what I do, I can't find a way to prevent some pretty major stutters and screen freezes. Now, my friends in the SCB community have been really helpful, offering ideas and suggestions, but nothing seems to work. I've lowered graphics settings, I've reduced shadows and special effects, I've set strict FPS limits, I've deleted and reinstalled the sim, I've removed overlays, I've even tried switching off replay recordings, but still it stutters. Now, I'm going to try and drive through that today, just so I can see what rFactor 2 multiplayer racing is like these days. It's a 20-minute Radicals race at Manfeild Park, where I'll be starting from P8 on a grid of 13. Let's get on track and beware of those screen freezes. Oh, and we're underway already. A really quick green light here at Manfeild. It caught me out, and it certainly caught Angelo Fragoni out in front of me. Fragoni really slow off the start line. I had nowhere to go, so I had to lift, and I suspect I'll lose positions on the inside because of it. Oh, there was a screen freeze straight away into turn one, and it's rattled me. I'm running out wide on exit, and all of a sudden the pack are clearing off. First corner, I've already made a big mistake. And more screen stutters as we come into T2. This is what I'm going to be up against here. It can be really distracting, but I've got to find a way of managing it and driving through it. More screen stutters as we come into this left-hander. And we're only a few corners into this race. I've already dropped down 2 positions to 10th, and I'm nearly 2 seconds off the pack in front already. Right, jumping forward to the end of lap 2. And these first couple of laps have been all about getting used to not only the car and track, but also the stutters on screen. And now I know roughly which corners they're occurring and also the frequency of which they're happening. I should be able to compensate for them and start closing back in on this leading 9. Particularly now the 2 drivers in front are starting to fight so closely together. Arvin, Grinden and Whistle banging fairings. They're swapping a bit of paint coming down the start-finish straight to start lap 3. And actually these screen stutters don't seem too bad now. I did enter a couple of USF 2000 races at Lime Rock Park earlier. I had to quit both of them because it was undrivable. But since then, I've dialed down the graphics settings a little bit more. I've set a strict 60 FPS limit, and so far it seems to be okay. A few jitters through this corner though. But as long as I know roughly where and when they're going to occur, I can try and prepare for them. Right, jumping forward now to the start of lap 4. And that gap to Grinden in front is now just 0.3 of a second. I close right in onto his rear end coming into T1 there. Get on the gas at just the right time coming out of the corner. So yeah, I am closing in on the cars in front now. And it would be good to get myself into a battle for a couple of positions, if at all possible. In front, Whistle has gone. Whistle losing control through these S's. And that is a position gain straight away. Grinden up to P8, me up to P9. We can take another look at this mistake. Whistle, the centre of the screen, just going to lose the rear end coming out of this left-hander. Apologies for the screen stutters. It happens in replay mode too. Right, back to the live action. We're just starting lap 6, so we're at quarter race distance, and as you can see, I've not been able to make any more ground. I've not closed in on Arvin Grinden. So as things stand, I'm still in P9, and I've got a gap of 0.7 of a second to Grinden in front. However, I do feel like I'm starting to pick up a bit of momentum again. Am I closing in on Grinden? It looks like it. Yellow flags came out briefly there. Have we lost someone? Well, the cloud of dust to the left suggests we have, and it's Angelo Fragoni rejoining. So that is another position gained. I am now up into P8, and we can check out the replay to see just what went wrong for Fragoni. He just clicks the curb on the outside, exiting the corner, and that sends him off into the grass. Right, we're going to get back on track halfway through lap 7, and as you can see, my P8 has become P7. That's because there was a disconnect in the leading pack further ahead. And I've also got a lot closer to Grinden in front. The gap now just 0.2 of a second, and I'm looking really good here. I'm sizing up a move to get past Grinden and force my way into the top 6. Grinden taking a defensive route into the final corner there, so I'm going to make sure my entry is as wide as possible to allow me to get on the gas as quickly as possible. Hopefully that'll give me the pace I need to pull alongside. It's working so far. We're side by side coming down the start-finish straight. I'm going to have the inside line for T1. But it doesn't look like I'm able to get the job done because Grindon carried the momentum around the outside using that wide line to hold on to 6th position. So we're in a battle now. We wanted to be fighting for positions and we are certainly in a fight. Grindon makes a mistake and then out of nowhere, Angelo Fragoni has picked up real momentum out of that corner, charges around the outside, and then slams the door shut, headed for the apex. I had to get hard on the brakes then to avoid T-boning Fragoni, and that has cost me all my momentum. So once again I find myself back into P8, the position that I started this race in. And I've got a gap of more than 1 second that I need to make up if I want to be part of this battle in front, and it looks very much like I want to be a part of it. These two are fighting ferociously now. Fragoni has made a move up the inside of Grindon to take P6. Grindon down to P7, and I'm now just 0.5 of a second behind, but I've made a mistake. A big lapse in concentration going into the final turn. I just drift out too wide. As soon as I get the 2 tyres on the grass to the left, it was curtains. I find myself out into the sand, and now I'm more than 6 seconds back. It may get worse. Look in the rearview mirror. That is Maddus Lurkis, who is going to take full advantage. He's carrying more momentum down into T1 and he gets the job done. So Lurkis up into P8. I find myself pushed down to P9 and I've got no one to blame but myself. Let's take another look at this one. I was pushing so hard, but a little bit too hard in the end. Just carrying a bit too much corner entry speed. I can't get the car turned in, and that gravel trap to the left acted like a magnet. Right, back to the live action. Can I get back past Lurkis and regain that 8th position? Well, I'm going to regain the 8th position, but not by passing Lurkis because there was a car stranded to the left. And it looks like it was Grindon, so Grindon has crashed out. Meanwhile, I've got the run on Lurkis here. This could be an early opportunity to fight right back. I'm going to pull alongside and I'm going to have the inside line for this upcoming left-hander. Now I've got to be braced for screen stutters, and I've also got to hold the inside line. There's the stutter. I pretty much knew it was going to be there, so I was prepared for it, and I have got the job done. But let's check out the replay to see what happened to Grindon. He's chasing Fragoni in the red here. Fragoni is out onto the grass, kicks up the dust. Now I wonder if that spooked Grindon, because he ended up oversteering and then exiting the track on the opposite side. So Grindon out onto the grass. He's going to wait for the cars to go past. That's me just getting by. Oh no, there's going to be a collision. And that was Whistle, it looks like, drilling Grindon there. Really unfortunate for Whistle. Let's ride on board with him now. And it certainly looked like Grindon was waiting for a safe spot to rejoin, but I think he just underestimated the pace at which Whistle was coming in. A big wreck there. And on the subject of dangerous rejoins, I very nearly did one myself a few laps later. We're on lap 14 now. I've built up a 4-second advantage over Lurkis, but I'm going to make a big mistake coming into this left-hander, running out onto the grass again. Now at this point, I'm going to try and rejoin safely to the side of the track, but suddenly the car spins. I almost went horizontally across track there. Thankfully, I managed to get it stopped before I T-boned Lurkis. And I certainly can't blame any screen stutters on this mistake. This was all my own doing, just misjudging the corner. Now at this point, I'm going to try and rejoin the track to the right. But yeah, just there, the rear steps out and I almost go straight into Lurkis. I'm glad I didn't. So once again, I find myself in P8, but I'm confident I should be able to get past Lurkis fairly quickly. I'd opened up a 4-second advantage in just a few laps before that mistake, so I'm confident that I can get past him again. I've got the run on him down the start-finish straight. Lurkis is going to defend this time, so I'm not going to be able to take the inside, but I am going to be able to charge past around the outside. Now he's still on my inside at the moment, so I'm going to have to leave him space, which means I'm going to have to be doubly careful not to run out on the grass to the left. I've just about managed it, used every bit of the curb that I possibly could, and I'm back up into P7. Now at this point of the race, with just 3 minutes left, Angelo Fragoni is more than 11 seconds clear in 6th position. However, he is going to make a big mistake into T1 at the start of the next lap. He manages to get back on track before I catch up with him, but his advantage has been severely depleted. And as we return to the live action, there are just 40 seconds left on the clock. This is lap 19, and I've switched the TV cam on so we can follow the progress of Angelo Fragoni, because what was once an 11-second advantage is now just 2 seconds. So can I do anything about this? I'm certainly within sight now. All it needs is one more mistake from Fragoni. He's certainly looking a little bit ragged, and I think we're going to get one more lap after this one. Oh, he clips the curb on the inside there, kicking up a little bit of dust. That is going to cost him some exit speed down this long back straight, and yeah, look at the difference it's made. The gap is now 1.3 seconds. I've gained 0.7 on him there. So is Fragoni feeling the heat? Well, he's made another big mistake, and it is exactly exactly the same mistake that I made earlier in the race. He's run out into the gravel, exiting turn 1, and that gifts me 6th position. And yeah, I was under no threat whatsoever on this final lap, so it was just a case of bringing it home to claim the top 6 finish. So yeah, really decent race this one. I mean, the Radicals probably wasn't the best choice for me because I've always struggled to drive this car. So that means I'm even more happy to claim a top 6 finish here. And my pace certainly improved as the race went on too. A fastest lap of 107.8 actually looks quick enough to have challenged Mike Swanwick and Philippe Suber for 4th and 5th position had I only been up to speed a little bit quicker. So yeah, really fun race here, as it always is in rFactor 2, but my one big problem is that PC performance. And I'll be honest, it has got me baffled. Every other sim runs like a dream on my PC. Assetto Corsa Competizione, iRacing, Race Room, Le Mans Ultimate, AMS2, they're all great, but for some reason I just can't get rF2 dialed in to run properly. And what makes it doubly frustrating is that it's not always been a problem. A year or two ago, rFactor 2 ran fantastically well on my PC while it had its spell on low fuel motorsport. If you don't believe me, check out the video on screen now. This is one of the best sim racing experiences I have ever had. And if any of you have encountered the same performance issues as me, I would love to hear from you if you've managed to fix them. I really want to know what I can do to get this sim back to its best. Thanks ever so much for watching.